I'll talk about Bill Maher since Apple's talked about that. First of all, there's a lot of things you could say. Now, number one, Bill Maher and I are in some sort of weird little tiff. Bill Maher got angry with me because the last time he said something controversial and got thrown off ABC, I disagreed with him. I didn't back him up. He had said something about the terrorists not being cowards who flew into the World Trade Center. And I thought that was in poor taste, and I said so, and ever since then, we haven't been friends. I don't know if that's the reason, but whatever.
But we did notice a chill in the air.
Yeah, there's been like a 25-year chill, which is just fine. I seem to be doing well without Bill Maher's endorsement. But I like Bill a lot. I watch his show regularly.
I do. I like his show very much.
I watch him on HBO. And, Bill is not a likable guy. In other words, there are certain celebrities that people just adore. Bill's not one of those. As much as I'm a fan of Bill, he's a tremendous stand-up comic. I told you I knew his dad, and his dad was a tremendous guy. Very nice guy. Worked with him at NBC. But Bill's like one of those guys that's kind of, I don't know, he's just not that likable to some people. Or what, he's not beloved.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way,
I didn't know that.
I'm making all this up, but I did a survey. No, but, he's just one of those guys, he's a little bit arrogant and all this, but it works for him. He's Bill Maher. And I believe he colors his hair somewhat. It's weird.
Definitely.
Yeah, but it's
he did
weird.
in the beginning. He's kind of letting it go back.
He's letting it go back.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like that. You know what I mean? Bill's not warm and cuddly like me. You know how people just adore me. So anyway, Bill Maher goes on his TV show the other night, and he's interviewing a senator from Nebraska. Very bright guy, Republican type. And the Republican senator says to Bill Maher, "You must come to Nebraska. We'll get you working in the fields," whatever the fuck that means. And Bill Maher said, "The field? I don't work in the field. I'm a house nigger." Uses the N-word. Now, I wasn't watching the show live. The show is on live, but I watch it. I DVR his show. So I already knew that this was coming up, and I knew it was controversial, and I knew a lot of people are upset. And some people, I believe Chance the Rapper and some others, have already called for HBO to fire Bill Maher over this comment. And so for me, watching it was like watching the Zapruder film. I knew it was coming. And I
you
knew,
already saw the assassination. You knew the assassination
yes,
had happened.
I knew the assassination was coming. And then when he said it, I went, ooh. I was like, ooh. And then like I replayed it in slow motion. It was like, and I'm like, oh.
Because they do play the Zapruder film backwards, forwards, and in slow-mo.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, if in watching it, I went, it was so unnecessary. It was not even funny. It was cringeworthy. And you know what? White guys using the N-word, it just doesn't work. I don't care how many black chicks you've fucked. I don't care how many times you've said Black Lives Matter. You can't use the N-word. It's not for you. And it's frustrating to a lot of white comics because black comics get a lot of great mileage out of it. They know how to make that funny, but it's their word. You want to use that, just know there's going to be backlash. But here's what I want to say about this particular controversy. I can't sit here and tell you whether Bill Maher is a racist or not. I can't, because you never know what's in someone's heart. I know when I hear some fucknut talk about Jews and say something, derogatory, like that fuck Roger Waters from the fucking shithead fucking Pink Floyd, when I hear his bullshit about Israel, it makes me fucking angry. I want him fired.
But at least he's not telling a joke.
Right. So I know how a black man or woman would feel listening to Bill Maher drop the N-word. So
don't say all, because not everybody feels the same way, even if you're the same color.
Right. But listen to what I have to say about this, Robin, and tell me what you think. So I can't tell you whether or not Bill Maher is a racist. I can't tell you whether or not anyone is a racist. You only know that deep down in your heart.
Oh, I can tell.
Oh, well, she can, actually. But here's the thing. Bill Maher, and some people are calling for him to be fired from HBO. But let me say something. First of all, Bill Maher is a funny guy. And he is working live. That show is completely live. And as somebody who works live, I will say things after the show is probably the worst fucking half hour to hour of my life. I sit there and review. I do 4 hours of nonstop talking, trying to entertain my audience. And there are times I say stuff and I go, why the fuck did I just open that up? Or why did I say this? Or why did I say that?
And when you're live on the air, it's a split-second decision.
It is. It is very difficult work because you want to be funny. I believe Bill Maher was trying to be funny. Now, Bill Maher's track record in terms of his views and the things he says and the jokes he makes, he's a very intelligent guy and a very funny guy. I think he has a pretty good track record of defending people who are considered second-class citizens in our society. By that, I mean people who have been downtrodden. You know, people who were treated like second-class citizens, like black people, and he's defended a lot of people. And, I mean, I've heard the guy say lots of things that indicate to me that he's not Mel Gibson running around screaming at women and calling them the N-word and dragging them down the step or something like that. Well, whatever the hell Mel Gibson does. This is not a guy who's going around throwing around the N-word. I think he was really sincerely trying to be funny, and he went a bit far. I don't think it was funny. I don't think he should have done it, but he was working live, and I don't think that this guy has a history of really being a racist asshole or a person who has animosity publicly anyway toward racial groups and things like this. So I would hate to see him get fired, and I would defend him. I'd say, look, HBO has said they feel what he said was despicable and deplorable, and they're right. But at the same point, I think calling for his firing is wrong. I think he's done a lot of good. He is a voice that's important, and he's funny. And
you know what my thing is, that this oversensitivity, nobody analyzes what happened.
Right.
They just said he used the N-word.
That's right. You know,
and it's ridiculous. Everything is not the same.
Everything isn't the same. You know, when Imus said nappy-headed hose, I didn't defend him. And certainly people would have expected me to defend him because he's on the radio and I'm on the radio, and we fuck up from time to time. But I knew Imus personally, and I don't hate Imus, but I saw him do something, say something to a black woman behind the scenes, off the air, which indicated to me that he was a racist. And I came down on him real hard. So there was a history there. With Bill Maher, I can sincerely tell you, I don't know whether the guy's a racist, but I think he was trying to be funny, and I don't think it reflects his views that he's some sort of racist. It was in poor taste, and he did the wrong thing. So I hope they don't fire Bill Maher. I hope they keep him on the air. I think his show.
I know they issued a statement, but they haven't said anything about firing him.
He apologized, and I think that was appropriate. I think he handled it appropriately, and I think he should stay on the air. Now,